If you're confused over the next 10 years and what's going to happen, we got the secret sauce. All right, you know who I am. You've been to the channel. You're clicking the button. You like us. You're subscribing. You're having fun. We're having fun. We're going to be talking about some of the interesting things of why Massachusetts over the next decade. So remember, you got questions, you have any concerns, give us a call, shoot us an email, shoot us a text, shoot us a message on Facebook. When it comes to Massachusetts, we've always got your back. All right, today we're really excited. We're usually pretty excited, but today we're excited because we're talking about Massachusetts and why Massachusetts over the next decade. Of course, we're going to brag and how great our city is and our sports and everything like that. Now, one of the biggest things is there is so many activities. There's always something to do. There's always some type of festival. Take the Boston Marathon. That's a giant event that happens. It coincides with opening day for the Red Sox. It's a huge event. We have all kinds of art festivals. We have Boston Calling, which is a huge music festival. It seems like when all the college kids come back to town, like that's a festival in its own, but that's a joke. But there's always some type of activity to do. Doesn't matter if it's winter, fall, summer, or spring. You can never get bored here. The second thing, walkability, right? Our city is extremely friendly, especially in Boston, as far as walking is concerned. They have done incredible amounts of trails over the past couple of years, connecting. There's like 27 acres of green space that they're looking to pull together. They're doing the Boston Harbor Walk. We talked about that in a different video. That is awesome. You get to walk down the whole thing, a lot of Boston Harbor, see that, get to see Boston from a different perspective. So that's great. We have a long history of walking, because if you think about the British are coming, right? That was probably more horseback riding then. However, there is actually the Freedom Trail, which I'm talking about there. That's a very long walking trail that goes through the city. You can go out to Concord and Lexington and just walk. From some of the pioneers early on. That's really incredible. And I think the thing that's cool as well is that there's a website called walkscore.com. We were rated 98 for walkability, and this is referred to as a walker's paradise, right? So if you're looking to walk around, come to Boston, right? It's great to just walk around and have fun, especially go down to Faneuil Hall and all those other cool places. So we won't go too deep there, but walking, it's great, very accessible. The other thing that we always talk about is our healthcare, right? World-renowned healthcare, the U.S. News, World Report, everyone always puts the spotlight on Boston. That we have so many different facilities. Brigham and Women's, Boston Children's Hospital, the Mass Eye and Ear, Beth Israel Deaconess. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You need medical, you're going to find it, right? And people that, if they're able to come to Boston for the healthcare, get here, because we have some of the best in the country, maybe some in the world too. I can't be that egotistical, but I don't compare us to the world. I just kind of go, Massachusetts to the rest of the country. All right, so what else is unbelievable about Massachusetts and Boston specifically? Shopping. Oh my gosh, right? I'm not a big shopper. I went out a couple weeks ago with my wife. We shopped all day long. It lasted like 5 hours. It was way too long, but we had a blast. And we didn't go to downtown Boston. We went to all these different places. However, in the city itself, Faneuil Hall, we've talked about that before. That's an awesome place to go shopping. So many boutique stores. There's a lot of brand stores as well. But there is, I'm just envisioning Faneuil Hall right now. And of course, you can't get into my mind. And if you did, you'd be horrified. Just kidding. But there's so many shops there, and it's so much fun. You could spend, a good 5 or 6 hours just in Faneuil Hall itself. Never mind going into downtown Boston, downtown Crossing. There's so many areas as far as shopping is concerned. You can't get away from it, right? So you want to spend money, they're going to take it all day long. So you want to shop, come to Boston. All right. Now, the other thing we love as far as Boston is concerned, being in the hub of Massachusetts, is we are a transportation hub. Now, if you think about it, as far as air travel is concerned, without a doubt, Logan Airport really It's usually pretty easy to get to. There's multiple roads coming and going just to get to the airport. You can easily get there from the Pike, Route 93, the commuter rail. So air travel, really simple. As far as road travel is concerned, like I said, we have a road that runs straight through called the Mass Pike, the Route 90, that's east to west. That goes right into the heart of the city. You have 93 that goes right through the heart of the city as well. That's a north to south. Then you have two other major routes that go around the city. Really, 95 is the inner belt. I won't talk 495, that's the outer belt. We're kind of talking more Boston versus Massachusetts. So that inner belt, all really easy to get to. So you're in Boston, you need to get out, take your pick. You're in and out of there. So if you're traveling by car, simple. You're traveling by air, simple. You want to travel by train or bus, even simpler, right? And the reason being is we have an awesome system called the MBTA system. You have the actual trains themselves, which I refer to as like the red line, the green line, the orange line. You have a trolley system, which is the green. That's the green line. I'm getting confused on the lines. I'm really excited. But then you have also the commuter rail. And the commuter rail runs all over the place, all the way from Worcester into the city, out from Fitchburg into the city, North Shore of Boston, South Shore. I mean, it's simple to get around here. So it doesn't matter how you want to go. You can get there. Pick your poison. Good to go. All right. So another thing, number 6, that we love about Boston, and I think I take this for granted, being a little, a kid not really understanding what I have here in my backyard. Our history is just amazing, right? There is some historical marker on every corner you can possibly imagine. You just got to look around and look down. You're like, oh, look, there's another one, right? Especially if you're doing the Freedom Trail, like you got to look around to find those little things. But from the architecture, from the aggravating, one-way road systems that we had. I mean, ours, it was all built off of horse trails, right? Making that dumb joke like the British are coming, the British are coming. Just think about, the Revolutionary War and that start, that's where we get super egotistical because they came here, they landed on Plymouth Rock, like that, we started the country, and they're like, yeah, we had the big fight, and like we won that, so like of course, like it's Boston, Massachusetts. But there is so much history, whether it's museums, whether it's walking tours. I mean, walking tours, you name it, there's something historical about the city. All right, now another thing, I don't know how I made this like number 7. Education, right? Education. It's such a driving force here for the state. I mean, I'm not going to ramble off on all the major, the Ivy League schools that we have here. Of course, I'll talk about the ones, I'll relate it to hockey. Some of you know I'm a big hockey fan. But you have the Bean Pot, which is this little tournament that's Boston University, Boston College, Harvard University, and then Northeastern University as well. That's just for like that compete. There's so many other colleges around Emerson. There's so many, oh my gosh, like we could go on and on and on as far as colleges. And that's with all the educated, right, that we just feel we're wicked smart, right? Like we're the smarty pants of the country. Because we have so many people that come here, and there's a lot of college students that stay just because they love the city so much. So we think we're fairly educated, even though we sound kind of goofy when we say, park the car in Harvard Yard, right? So that's why sometimes I tweak my words a little bit, because I'm like, I did go to college, I got a degree in management and economics, but I sound like I just got off the. I'm not going to say any type of comment because I'm going to be degrading to someone else. So just someone that didn't have any education. So that's all I'm going to say. So listen, I've heard it my whole life, so it is what it is. All right, now let's talk about diversity, right? This is our city was founded on immigrants, right? And there was a lot of different pockets that were very specific to certain not races, but certain nationalities. And I would say some races too. Like we've come a long way as far as where we've gone, but there's so. Come check out some of the foods. I mean, that's where you're going to see when you bring in all these different cultures and all different people from all different walks of life. That's when things get really exciting. That's when things get really interesting. That's when you get to try all these different cultures and foods and blend them together. We were talking about festivals before at the beginning of the video. There's so many different cultural festivals as well. The past 10 years, the city has grown, Greater Boston has grown by over 250,000 people, right? A lot of that has been diverse cultures coming in. So there's always, you name it, we're going to have it. It's a great place as far as that cultural diversity is concerned. All right, another thing that we talked about before in one of our other videos, and again, this is something that we're really proud of, our job market. right? We have so much growth here. The biotech industry, we kind of stick our flag there, but there's so many other things, like we just talked about education. There's a huge, demand as far as being in the education sector. We have a lot of technology, and that's as far as being walkable. The city's concerned. It's really easy for people to come here, relocate. Just relocate from your company. We'll be right there. You walk around. It's going to be great. We have so many jobs here, and there's it's a really, really great white collar community, and I think it goes hand in hand with the education, right? So that's my 2 cents. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is that our crime rate has decreased significantly. Right? Really the past 30, not the past 30 years, the past 10 years, we've had a 30% decrease as far as crimes are concerned, as far as violent crimes. So, I'm making little jokes in the back of my mind from some of the areas of Boston that I kind of, skated around as a kid. He'd be like, do you want to go through there? And I was like, no. I'm like, if my mother and father knew that I was going down that part of town, like, yeah. So, call me. You want to hear funny stories about getting beat up as a kid at Haymarket when buying illegal fireworks? Not that I would ever do that. I'd pass you off to my friend. He'll tell you those stories, so call my friend. But yeah, it's and those weren't violent crimes. That was just getting picked on as a kid for doing something illegally. Not that I would ever do that. Okay, so anyway, I blow my cover. I bought illegal fireworks. They're illegal in Massachusetts. It is what it is. I don't do them anymore. It's like I got off of it, right? I got off the fireworks. So anyway, we'll probably cut this whole part of the video if it stays. That's great. I don't know, Tyler.
We'll probably cut this whole part of the video if it stays. That's great. I don't know, Tyler.
So yeah, we love Massachusetts. All right, so I'm getting all fired up talking about Massachusetts and why over the next 10 years you got to come to Massachusetts, right? So listen, if you're going to come to relocate, you want to come visit, you have questions, just reach out to us. You know how to get in touch with us. We'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. We love that you're checking out our channel. Remember, when it comes to Massachusetts, we've always got your back.